Hello everyone. This video would be specifically the part two of our Power BI service series. So in this video, or in this session, we are going to see how do we access reports. In the last session, we have seen how Power BI service is activated, what all licenses are available, and how do we publish a report. Now, once we publish a report, how that report is viewed by some other user. If some other user wants to access that report, view that report, he also has to have access to that specific website. He has to visit that website, and from that website, how do we access the reports? What all roles, what all permissions are required? So that all concepts we are going to see in this video. So this is our workspace which we have created in the last session of the part one, or the part one video of our series, Power BI service series, where we have seen how to publish all this stuff. Now, in this session, we are specifically going to see how do end user, whom the client is, whom the stakeholder is, how do he access that specific report. Now, if I specifically wanted to explain how is it possible in simple terms, see, if this is a website, this is the Power BI website, and you are a developer. Now, assume that you are a developer here, you're working as a developer. Now, once the development of the report is done, you publish the report to this website. This is the powerbi.com website. Now, in powerbi.com website, once you publish that report, how other user would access that report? There are multiple users who want to get access to this specific website, or to that specific report which is published to a website in a workspace. Now, assume that this is user one, as user two. Um, Let me do that. This is user two, and this is user three. So every individual who is a part, who want to access this specific report, has to be of same domain. Now, in the last session, we have seen we have created our work organizational email ID with the help of KSR domain. The same KSR domain he has to be part of that. If user one has to access a specific report which is published by a developer, he has to be a part of that same KSR domain. The same KSR email ID every user needs to have so as to access the specific report. Now, once the specific domain email ID is there for that specific user, he has to also have the Power BI license activated from his end. Without Power BI license, either Pro or Premium, any of them would suitable. If you are a Pro, I mean, for a user who wants to view the report, it is not recommended to always have a Premium. If few of the features, if few of the features which are only available in Premium, only in that case Premium is required. But to only view the report, Pro is also feasible. So either Pro or either Premium, every individual user who is a part of that same domain has to have that access. Now, how do we add users to this specific website? We have seen how do we publish a report, but how do we add users? How can we access that report? How can we give access permission to that report so that multiple users can see? Now, let's head over to the workspace which we have created in the last session, and we have also published a report here. Now, we have seen the importance of workspace settings. Now, if I go to my workspaces, if I hover on this workspace, if I click on the more options, you will get two options here. One, the first option which we have seen, workspace settings in the last video. Now, once again, if you go back here, click on the more options, you also have an option called as workspace access. If you click on here, see, it will open a new tab. I mean, a kind of new pop-up. Here you can add users whom you want to get this specific workspace access to, so that that specific user can access a report. Now, this is workspace level access. Usually, see, our main motto of this video is how to provide access. Now, for to provide access, we need to mention that specific person. We need to add that specific person to this specific workspace. Now, this is workspace level access. Accesses are of two types. Now, two types. The first one is workspace level access, and the second one is report level access. You can individually give access to report level also. Now, we would be seeing both the options, workspace level as well as report level, both the access we would be seeing. Now, first, let's understand how workspace level access are given. Let's head over to the Power BI, the powerbi.com. Here, once you hover Um, Once you go back to your workspace, hover on that workspace, click on more options, you have that option workspace access. Either you can use the same option, or else once you are in the workspace, see here also you'll get this more option. The same option is available, manage access. So it will open the same pop-up window. Now you'll get a green option, the green bar here, add people or groups whom you want to give this access. So I have two email IDs with me. Now if I hover on my name, I'm the admin of this workspace because I've created it. If I hover on my name, see this is my email ID, rk1204@ksr consultant services. So I also have one more email ID, which is a different email ID. The name might be same, but the email ID is different. Now, assume that I am the admin here, the email ID with RK1204. I'm the admin who have created this workspace and I want to give access it to the some other user. So let me add the name. See, I can search that specific email ID which I want to add. So this is a different email ID. The email ID is kindly, I mean, the name is same, but the email ID is different. So I can click here. See, once I click the email ID, once I mention that specific name, you can enter n number of people. Now, if I mention any specific character, how many people are part of this KSR, all that KSR people domain would be coming here. Whoever has that KSR email ID, that work email ID, all that people would come here. So let's add my name only with a different email ID. So once you add your name, there is an option here. Something is highlighted, which is viewer. And if you hover on this, there is an option to get a drop down. See, as an admin, you have all the flexibility, whichever user you want to add to that specific workspace, how and what type of role you want to give. Either you want to give that same person as an admin, you want to add him as a member, or you want to add him as a contributor, or you want to add him as a viewer. So usually there are four different rules. There are four different rules at workspace level access, four different rules. Now we will see one by one each and individual role. So if I get it down to get the workspace level accesses, first one is admin. Now, if you are added as an admin, you will get all the flexibility. That means all the options which you have created, you as an admin have created this workspace, that same admin access would be given to some other user if you're adding him as an admin. He can do all the necessary action. He can change it from pro to premium. All that options are available. So complete flexibility is available as an admin. So usually there is only one admin in real time. If you're working on a project, it is recommended to have only one admin. There can be a possibility that two or three people who are at senior position can be given that same admin role, but usually one maximum of three people are given in real time. Now coming down, the other role is, the second role is member role. Now what do you mean by member role? If I go back to the workspace, see, let's if I give admin, I can click add. See, that user is added. Now if I go back, see, I can see my names, but the email IDs are different. I was the admin who have created this workspace. That same admin level access is given to the other person, or the different email ID which I have added here. Now I have a flexibility. I can change that person role also. Now let's see. I can delete it. Let's delete this role. Again, I'll go back here. I'll mention the email ID. This is a different email ID. So we have a flexibility. We can add a different role called as member. So how different member and admin is. See, if I'm trying to add this specific email ID as a member, let me add this. So this member is added. I'll close this. You can again see, you are the admin. The person who has created the workspace, you are the admin, and the person whom you have added is a member. So you cannot delete. When you are the admin, you cannot delete your own role. Now let's head over. I'll open a different window. See, this is my Power BI workspace or the Power BI service again, but I have logged in with a different email ID, the email ID which I have added as a member. So if I head over back here, if I click here, this is my admin email ID. And if I go to the different browser, this is my member email ID which I have added. So here, if I click, see, usually you do not have access to this workspace. I cannot see that workspace here. The same workspace, the KSR workspace, I cannot see that workspace here. So let me refresh this page because I've added that email. It will take some time, probably 1 or 2 minutes. Once I refresh this page, you can click here that workspace is visible here. Now I can click on this workspace. Whatever an admin can see, I can see all that stuff. But the only difference between member and admin is admin can add, admin can remove people, but a member can only add certain people. He cannot delete that people. See here, I have an access. Now this RK777 email ID is added as a member. Now I can go to manage access. See, I cannot delete myself. I can add a different individual. So if I click here, I can add any other individual. Any other individual, if I want to add, I can add that specific person. Now, if I search any specific email ID, I'm trying to search any specific email ID. Say I can click on this email ID. I have an access. I mean, I can add this specific individual. Let me refresh this page again. I'll go back to the manage access, click on add people. See, I'm trying to add any specific individual. I have that complete admin. I cannot add that individual person as an admin because I myself have been added as a member. Either I can add him as a member or a contributor or a viewer. Roles which are lower than admin can be added once you are added as a member to this workspace. So if I add this person, he's added. Again, I'll go back to the manage access. See, you can see I do not have access to delete that specific role which I've added. Why? Because I have been added as a member only. So admin will have full right to add or remove any individual. Whereas if you are added as a member, you do not have flexibility to delete a member. You can only add a number of people. You can add any other individual also. Again, you can get some name, add them as a viewer, contributor, or a viewer, or maybe as a member. So if I go back to the other browser where I'm the admin here, see, I'll refresh this page. Anyhow, the new member is added. It will take 1 minute to update. Now, if I again go back to the manage access, see, I have the flexibility. I'm the admin here. Either the member who has been added, I can delete that person here. As an admin, I have full flexibility. I can delete that person. Even I can delete the other email ID which I have added. I can delete that email ID as well. So that flexibility you get as a member. As an admin, you can delete that name. As a member, you cannot delete that specific individual who is added to this workspace. That is completely blocked. Now, coming down, we will see the another role. See, you can change the existing member to some other role also. You want to delete it, remove that specific person. Again, go back here, add that email ID, get that name. See, you can rename or you can change that option, the access. I've been added as a member earlier. Now I'll add myself as a contributor with a different email ID. What's the contributor role? Let me note down member, all same as admin, but can only add people, cannot remove people from workspace. So as a member, you have this flexibility. Let's see what do we have as a contributor. See, contributor is a third role. Admin is the first and the important role. Second one is the member role. And third one is the contributor role. Now let's see what is the difference between member and contributor. See, I'll add myself as a contributor with a different email ID. So this name is added. I'll go back here to the different browser. Let me refresh this because in order to get that change reflected, I have to refresh this. So once this is refreshed, see, there is an option again to manage access. I've been added as a contributor with a different email ID. I've been added as a contributor. So as a contributor, see, I cannot even add people. I cannot even delete people to this workspace. Only changes I can view the report. Whereas a member, you can view the report, you can add individual also. In case of contributor, you can only view the report, you can only view the semantic model, but you do not have access to add or delete any individual. As a contributor, you do not have any access. So the difference between contributor and member is contributor cannot add. See, all other accesses are same. He can view the report, he can view the semantic model, all the all same as member, but cannot add or delete any person or any people to this workspace. So as a contributor, you only have an access to view the report. Now, accepted you are added as a contributor, there is a flexibility. Once you log in with as a contributor, one more flexibility you'll get. See, if you are added as an admin, you can add and delete. If you're added as a member, you can add but cannot delete. And if you're added as a contributor, you cannot add or delete. These are the accesses with respect to workspace. Now we'll also discuss with respect to reporting stuff. With respect to reporting, see, as an admin, you can publish a report. As a member, if you are added as an admin, you can publish a report. If you are added as a member, you can still publish a report. The same access you'll get. You can publish a report. Now, if you're added as a contributor, same access. You can still contribute to this specific workspace. You can also publish a report. Now, with respect to reporting, admin can publish, member can publish, and contributor can publish. There is one more role which we are left with. If I go back to this primary admin, I can change my role here itself. Rather than deleting it, I've seen member, I've seen contributor. Let me change the different email ID to the viewer. So once it is changed, see, I'll go back to the different browser where I'm added as a viewer, that different email ID. Let me refresh this. See, with the different email ID also, I have an access to this workspace. I still have an access to this workspace. So usually if you refresh it, it will take some time. Again, refresh it. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. See, one change you will reflect. Here, I have changed myself as a viewer with the different email ID. If I go back to the browser where I've logged in with that different email ID, you can see I can only view a report. I cannot view the data set. That means if you are added as a viewer, you cannot view data set. If you are added as a viewer role cannot view data set, neither can you publish a report. You cannot even publish a report if you are added as a viewer. Only thing is you can view a report, that too only a report, not even a data set. The semantic model is also not visible to the viewer role. Now, if you are added as a viewer, with respect to adding or deleting a people, you cannot even add, you cannot even delete. Only thing is you can only view a report. View a report. No access to add or delete. So this is with respect to reporting. This is with respect to the access adding or deleting a people. Admin, you can add and delete. Member, you can add but cannot delete. Contributor, you cannot add or delete. Whereas a viewer, in contributor, we have a flexibility to publish a report. You can publish a report. You can view the data set. Whereas as a viewer, you cannot even publish. You cannot even see the data set or semantic model. Only thing is you can only view a report. If I go back here, I cannot even see the semantic model. I only have access to view the specific report which I have published. Now there is a row level security applied to this report. That is the reason it is not visible. But usually you can view the report. That is the only option you'll get as a viewer. Now you can go back and see what is your role here. I mean, you will not even get. There is no option to manage access. There is no option to manage access for a viewer. Only he will get certain workspace settings. Now, if I go back here and I can see I am added as a viewer with a different email ID, I'm added as a viewer. Now we have seen the three different roles at the workspace level. With respect to reporting, with respect to adding access or giving access. Now we will also see with respect to report. With respect to report, there are different roles. With respect to workspace, we have seen. With respect to report, we will see how many roles are there. Now, how do you want to add that individual to only view one single report? See, I can add any individual to this workspace as an admin member or a contributor. He will get all the access to the reports present in this specific workspace. If there are 10 reports, all the 10 reports would be visible. Now, I don't want that. I can give access to that only specific report. Now, assume that there are 10 reports and only I want to give access to this specific report. Now, what I'll do, let me go to some workspace where I've published multiple reports. Hmm. Now, here in this workspace, there are multiple reports which are published. You can see for every report, there is a data set. That semantic model is associated with it. Now, what I'll do, only for this Amazon sales report, I want to specifically add a user. Now, prior to that, let me delete the different email ID which I've added. See, this is at the workspace level. The viewer is at the workspace level. I can see all that. Now, if I add myself to this workspace, manage access, I'm added as a viewer. I'll go back, click on the workspace. See, I can get the test workspace KSR. So I can see all the reports, not the data sets. I'm added as a viewer. I'll go back here. Let me delete myself. I'm removing myself. The different email ID is removed. Let me go back to the window. I'll refresh this. See, I cannot even see that workspace. So it will take 1 minute to get refreshed. I'm re-refreshing it. See, sorry, you don't have access to that group. That means I don't even have access to that specific workspace because I have deleted my name. Now, only for that report, only for this individual report, I want to share this report. See, you have an option here as a share. Once you click on share, see, you have a flexibility. Let me add that different email ID. Now that different email ID is added, you have an option here. See, once you add that email ID, rather than directly sending it, people in this organization with this link can view and share. Click here. There are options. People with existing access, specific people whom you want to share. In the settings option, allow recipients to share, allow recipients to build. I'll not check these reports. I'll only click on apply. That's it. Now this is one option. I can click here. See, once you can do this share option also, even this is possible. Now, if I hover on this report, more options, there is an option called as manage permissions. Once you open this is more easy to understand because only with specific to this report, I want to give access. I'll go to the direct access. See, I am the admin here. Now I can add a user. I'll add a different email ID. Once you add that email ID, there are multiple options here. Allow recipients to share. I'll uncheck this because I don't want this person to share this report to some other individual. Allow recipients to build content with this data associated with this report. That means only report is visible. The data model is not visible. Send an email notification. Maybe once you are adding a different individual, he'll get an email notification. Even that is possible. Now you can check or uncheck this. It is up to us. You want an email notification to be sent, you can add that and you can add a message. Added you to view Amazon sales report. I'll click on grant access. See, here you can see a different email ID with the same name. The name might be same, that the email ID is different. This is different email ID. Only read permission is there with respect to report. I haven't given this test workspace complete access. Now, if I'll go back here, I'll refresh it. I'll go back to the workspace. See, there is no option to view. Test workspace, there is no option to view. Now, this is report level access. You will get an email here. Once you are added, you will get an email notification that you have been added to that specific report only. You can only view that report. Now, It will take some time to get an email to this email ID which I've mentioned, but this is with respect to this access, this direct access. Once you, um, this is the workspace. Once you hover on that report, click on the more options, go to the manage permissions. This is with respect to individual report. Only read access you will have. Now, there is a possibility. How do I make sure that report is viewed? See, if I click on this report will open, and under this report, I can copy this link. I can go back here. I paste it here. See, I am in this different box or the different environment, the different browser. I have logged in with a different email ID. See, I can still view that report because I've added myself in the admin portal. I've added myself as a, let me go back to the permissions. I've added this email ID as a read only permission. Even though that workspace is not visible for me, here I can see there is no workspace. There is no test KSR workspace visible to me. This is a different workspace. If I go back, this is the test workspace KSR. There is no workspace with that name. But still I can view that. You can see this is the different email ID. I can still view that report because I've been added to only view this report, read only access. This is with respect to report level, not with respect to workspace level. Now, if you are added yourself, I can change this permission. Either you can remove it or else you can add reshare. So this individual, this specific person, if I refresh this, I can reshare this specific link to some other person also. There is an option. I can reshare this link. Now you can go here. See, I can reshare this link. Earlier, I was not getting any option to share here because I was only added. I can remove that, remove reshare. I'll go back here, refresh this browser. So it will open a report. Now there is an option for share, but I cannot share it. See, the option is different here. I cannot share it. I can only copy a link. I cannot share it with the individual. I cannot add an email ID here. Whereas if I would have been added as a reshare, I can add it, reshare again. I'll go back here. I'll refresh this. Here the access would have changed. You can share this report, even though you are added as read, but you can also share this report with some other individual who is a part of that same KSR to me. So there are different accesses with respect to workspace, admin, member, contributor, and viewer. We have seen the differences with respect to report, read and reshare accesses are there. Now we might have seen how an access is given, what all roles are there, workspace level and report level access we have seen. Now in the last, we are also going to see what is this new fabric integration. Now what do you mean by new fabric integration is whenever you're logging into the powerbi.com, either by app.powerbi.com or by powerbi.com directly. So it is navigating to some fabric here. Something fabric was mentioned. Now, if I relog in it again, powerbi.com, it will ask you to log in that email ID. Somewhere Microsoft Fabric is written. It was visible. Now, what do you mean by fabric? See, this powerbi.com, the website which we are looking out, where we share our reports, that website has been integrated with the fabric. Now we have a special video on fabric which we have published. You'll get a link with this email or with this reporting. I mean the video recording. You can view that. But with this fabric, the Power BI website also they have integrated with the fabric environment. Now, how is it possible? You can go back to the leftmost corner. If you click on this Power BI icon, you will get multiple icons here. So what all services are present in Fabric, that all services are also integrated, including Power BI website. So every individual service which is available in Azure portal as an independent cloud platform, that all services are captured here in Microsoft Fabric. So as a data analyst, you can do all this, including Power BI data factory, the pipeline, the data accesses, your data engineering, data science, all these environments are integrated in one single Fabric environment, including the Power BI website. So Power BI website is still the same. There hasn't been any change. The only difference is with the introduction of Fabric, where all the environments are integrated, including Power BI, which is also part and parcel of Fabric environment. Yeah, that's it for today's video. We'll get with some other updates, with some other specifications in next video. Thank you.